For around 2 to 3 hours, pretty much every single day in the past 3 years, I've been using my second generation of AirPod Pros, and it probably shows. But within the past few months, there's been some signs that these might be coming to the end of their life, which I will get into in a bit. But I have the AirPod Pro 3s here. Why? Well, I was looking into it, and you actually can still buy the second generation of AirPods brand new, but it's actually more expensive than it would be to buy the third gen. It could just be on sale because it's the newer, more modern, more in-stock generation. But I also happen to remember that there is a pretty widely popular controversy that the third generation of AirPods are worse. I also remembered that I have this channel to kind of give my, what I think to be a realistic perspective on tech. So here we are, and that is a lot shinier than mine currently, and it doesn't look like it comes with a cable, but it does come with an additional size of extra small. But naturally, before I talk about them, I have to actually try them and live with them, so I'll be doing that for about the next week and then go over what I like, what I don't, and if I think it's even an upgrade from the previous generation. I need to find a good first song to listen to on them. That's a lot of pressure. Okay, so it's been a little bit, and just like normal, whether I'm setting up for a video, working out, or even just relaxing, instead of doing that on my second gen AirPod Pros, I've fully replaced them with my third generation. And the most important thing I've noticed with the AirPod Pro 3s is it's less satisfying to close the case, so I will be returning these immediately. But the real first thing that I want to mention is debatably the most important, and that has to do with the fit. Now, along with the allegedly bad sound quality, the fit is the next most complained about thing online. But I mean, in my opinion, neither of those things are actually the worst part about these, but I'll get to that. At first, fit-wise, these did feel kind of less connected in my ear, almost like the illusion that it was always gonna fall out. Part of that might be because the new design where it's kind of extruded out and more curved inwards. And unlike the second gens, the tips on the 3s are infused with like a foam kind of material, which does have some benefits, but it is firm in your ear. Once I swapped it out for a smaller size and just started to trust it more, I will say I do feel like it's gonna stay in there. But we gotta keep in mind here, people's ears are like fingerprints, like everyone's are a little bit different, and clearly the fit is not perfect for a lot of people. Unlike the case for the second gen, the little indicator light is, I guess, almost hidden and is only visible when it's actually on. And instead of having the pairing button on the back, it's now just a sensor on the front. For the Pro 3s, the case and earbuds are a little bit more dust and water resistant now. And I mean, I did almost accidentally walk into the shower with them in my ears once, so I guess it's always welcome to have less of a chance of them breaking. And I actually think that the shape of the case gets overlooked. I mentioned this when I reviewed the Nothing CMF buds, where that case is very square, and when I tried to put it in my pocket with my phone, it just kept getting stuck against my phone. And with AirPods, since it's like rounded, smooth edges, kind of just slips and falls into place better. Now, one of my actually not super hot takes is AirPods should come in a color option for black, because after 3 years of using these daily, and especially when your ears produce yellow earwax, they get disgusting. That is really bad. But actually, on the other hand, if you go long enough without cleaning them, they'll eventually start to match the color of the Citrus MacBook Neo. That could be a good combination. Now, obviously, all the staple good features of AirPods are just as good on the Pro 3s, like the device-to-device connection. And I'm a fan of the stem squeezing to pause and play and switch modes, and swiping up and down to control the volume. I've always found that it's intuitive and also just more consistent than just the sensor tapping on some other earbuds. Now, one of the ways that the Pro 2s feel like they're kind of dying on me is whenever I have them in and I'm leaning against something like my hand or a pillow, it just totally glitches out, mutes the audio, but doesn't disconnect. I don't know if like some of the sensors are broken, and all of the other ways the sensors work perfectly fine. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Now in the Pro 3s, the Find My feature works a lot better. I guess it's just a stronger connection. A feature that's new to the 3s is they have a heart rate sensor built into the earbud, and I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, a lot of people, myself included, wear earbuds when they're working out or running or playing basketball. So having an exercise related feature on a device that a lot of people are wearing when they're exercising just kind of fits perfectly.
There are a bunch of other features that I just don't use, like pause when falling asleep, head movement gestures, live translation, and hearing protection and assistance.
Now, before I hit on all of the different sound modes and controversially sound quality, well, you can't listen to anything if your earbuds are dead. But I found that the Pro 3s have great battery life. I think it's a little bit better than the 2s. I popped both of them in at 100% one morning, and I wanted to work until they were at 10%. So with adaptive mode on for all but around 30 minutes when I had noise cancellation on, it took 7.5 hours to drain down to 10%. And for the whole time, I did have Spotify and a little bit of YouTube playing in the background. Now I did the same thing with the Pro 2s, but of course with any tech, through time, the battery gets worse, and it took under 4.5 hours to drain from 100 to 10%, and that was only in adaptive mode. That's close to half the runtime. But the thing is, day to day, I don't actually find myself using more than 50% of the battery at a time. So although there is a drastic difference, both are still enough for me. And I swear, as soon as I put both of these actually back in their cases, it was like 5-10 minutes and they're at like 30% charge. For the Pro 3s, Apple says 5 minutes of charging will get you an hour of listening time, and I mean, yeah, that seems to be pretty on par for me. With all of them back in their cases though, it took the Pro 3s an hour and 20 minutes to reach 100%, and that dropped the case battery from 85 to 45%. With the Pro 2s, it took 50 minutes to charge them back up to 100%, and that dropped the case battery from 63 to 26, which is about the same 40% drop as the Pro 3s. Also, keep in mind, because the battery is degraded on the Pro 2s, it can't charge to the full capacity, so that might be why it charged a little quicker, and probably also why it died significantly quicker. And again, recently with the 2s, this has been pretty annoying. When I put them back in, they don't always connect and start charging again, and there's been plenty of times where I go to take them out and they're completely dead. That is always a disappointing discovery. And the Pro 3's case seems like it can store about 3 full charges in it. Now it does kind of suck how it doesn't come with a cable, especially because those braided Apple cables I actually think are quite nice. But I also think in reality, you probably don't need it. And it's not for any good reason. It's because Apple just has this big, stupid, I guess, feature that locks all the good functionality of AirPods to only work on other Apple devices. I didn't realize how bad it was when I tried to use my AirPod Pro 2s on a Google Pixel and none of the in-ear detection sensors worked. It was actually bad enough where it was still playing music when I took them out and put them back in the case. I had to disconnect it from Bluetooth manually. So I think it's safe to say if you're buying these, you probably have an iPhone, which comes with a cable that you can use to charge these. Now, although I am glad to see USB-C because my AirPod Pro 2s are old enough where they still have the lightning cable, I still only really find myself charging my AirPods wirelessly. Now, here's where things get a little bit iffy. Noise cancellation I've thought has always been good on AirPod Pros, and I still think that the noise cancellation on the Pro 2s is good enough. I will say with the Pro 3s, the first time I tried noise cancellation, there was a pretty big difference. Apple says that the 3s have 2 times as much cancellation as the 2s. I find it to be more like 30 to 50% better. I also think because of the foam tips, even on the off mode without noise cancellation on, they still do a pretty good job of just sealing off the background noise. And I continue to be a big fan of the spatial audio setting when listening to music. It kind of just opens up the audio and feels like it's almost just a speaker playing in front of you. But now, unfortunately, this is kind of where I feel like the Pro 3s take a big step back, and that is with the transparency mode. Being able to hear everything around you while still having good audio right in your ears is, I think, awesome. I've kind of defaulted to using transparency in adaptive mode. But yeah, on the 3rd gens, it's noticeably worse. With the 2s, when you put them in on transparency mode, it sounds a little less clear and a little less transparent, but the pitch of everything sounds like the same it is without the AirPods in at all. But when you have it on for the 3rd gens, it makes everything sound not normal. It's like a little bit almost higher pitched, a little bit tinnier. And in my opinion, it makes it sound cheap. And now that I've had them in for a couple minutes, it's fine and everything sounds normal. But the issue is, now that I take them out, wow, I can't make this up. Everything sounds different when you take them out, so you're never gonna get used to it. Now, if I put the AirPod Pro 2s in with transparency mode on, it's not doing it right now, but whenever I have a faucet running or a fan in my room running or eggs sizzling or any sound like that, these completely bug out, specifically the right one. It kind of just makes this like digital, shrill, staticky noise, and it's pretty painful to listen to. As soon as I switch it to the off mode or even noise cancellation, it totally disappears. So I definitely think that transparency mode's the biggest downgrade with the Pro 3s, but I have to wonder if this is a fault of transparency mode or just the general sound quality. Now, I've seen people say the sound quality is so much worse and Apple ruined AirPods, but like most things on the internet, I've come to find out firsthand that that is extremely exaggerated, but it's not wrong. First, I have to mention that sound is very subjective. Second, I just have to mention if pretty much across the board, everyone's pretty consistently happy with the sound quality, why would you change it? Now, what I immediately noticed when I listened to music with this is it sounds good. The truth is it sounds good. The issue I have with it is it doesn't sound as good as their previous generation. It's a step backwards. Like something about the sound curve or the EQ, or it just sounds less crisp. Like the AirPod Pro 2s have like a very refined sound, and it comes out in my ears very clean and high quality. These don't. I think the proper audio term is they sound brighter. Like overall, there's just like less of that like eardrum tickling bass that you get. Now, this is really digging deep after using them side by side and specifically looking for differences. They are there, they are noticeable, but you could buy either one of these and only use them and they'll be fine. In fact, they'll be good. Now, the other thing is I don't understand why Apple hasn't added like a custom EQ setting. Having a better EQ would solve a lot of these issues. Now, similar to sound quality is microphone quality. This is on the Pro 2s, and I usually do use AirPods when I'm taking a video call. Last time I was using the Pro 2s, I was actually told it was like lagging behind and kind of crackling and glitching and breaking up. And that could have just been like a typical kind of network connection glitch or something like Google Meets. But anyway, here's the sound on the AirPod Pro 3s. But since I've now found myself with both of these, I'm actually just going to keep using the AirPod Pro 2s until they fully die or the little inconveniences become bigger inconveniences. If you have neither of them and you can find the Pro 2s for around the same price as the Pro 3s, my recommendation would still be the Pro 2s. I wouldn't say that the Pro 3s are overall a downgrade. I would say it's more of a sidestep. It just doesn't happen to be in the direction that aligns best with my preferences. And I know there are so many really great non-Apple earbud options, so let me know if you want me to try any, but thank you for watching and feel free to subscribe for more.